Welcome back, storytellers. It's Mystic. You can call me Angel. And I was going to go live with you guys tonight, and I had a problem with my hardware. I have to order some new geeky things, and I'm a little upset about it. Calmed myself down and decided to go ahead and record my session and post it. So I apologize for not going live. It was going to be my first live, but maybe it's just not meant for me to go live today. So here I am. And what we're going to do today is I'm going to do one of my what I like about episodes today. And I've been dropping reels, and I did the script analysis for Predator. So we're going to talk about what I like about the Predator. So as you know, I don't do movie reviews. I do analysis and I talk about fun stuff. There are a lot of people out there that do reviews. So I'm going to leave that to the people that you guys follow for that. I'm a writer. So I like to talk about the essence of stories. And so that's what we do. And I am a Gen Xer, so I like to play with classics and kind of go back in time. And I just finished watching and playing with a lot of the reels and looking at things I loved about The Predator from 1987. So I'm going to talk about it here today. So I got to tell you, this is the 80s were so much fun because we had a lot of films that weren't really about anything but just having a good time. And, I miss that. I'm going to be honest with you. I really miss just watching films for the sake of just having fun and not having to be lectured and not having to go through the theory of this, that, and the other. Just going to sit down and have a good time. And as a sci-fi horror girl, movies like The Predator are perfect for that kind of thing. Don't got to think about nothing. We're just going to have a good time. And this film is just a roller coaster good time. So we're just not going to dive into the mechanics of the storytelling. If you want to get into that with me, you can go over to the script analysis that I did, where I talk about the mechanics of storytelling. We're just going to talk about the visuals of the scenes that I really loved from this film. And this is a macho mas macho movie. This is an all guy movie. There's one gal in it. This movie's about muscles and biceps and tension and instinct and bullets. So that's not real popular today, and I'm thinking that's too bad because these films are a lot of fun. So these are some of the moments that give you chills, some things that I love, things that are just fun to watch. Whether you're a fan of monster movies and survival tale, it's not really important. This is just a really cool jungle survival movie with a monster running around taking people out. So, here we go. So Predator 1987, that is Arnold Schwarzenegger at his best. We've got Jesse Ventura in there. This movie was a lot of fun. There is one thing I gotta say about this film that is so cool, and that is this was before we CGI'd ourselves to death with creatures and computers. We used to put people in costumes and make them be creatures. And the individual who played the Predator in this film, sorry, I'm moving things around because my computer's in pieces because I did have a little bit of a malfunction, so I apologize for that. But the individual who did indeed play the Predator was somebody who did a lot of creatures. Harry and the Hendersons and the Predator. That was Kevin Peter Hall. 7 feet 2 inches tall. He was a creature creator back in the day. And he played the Predator like an ace. It was just really cool watching him. So you got to go back and watch the film and see how his grace, his focus, just how he was playing the Predator was just absolutely amazing. So there are big guns, big egos, jungle warfare. My goodness, when this film starts out, and the first time you see it, it just looks like another jungle warfare movie. And it starts off with one of my favorite scenes where you have Arnold Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers, muscle upon muscle, doing the bro shake, the Dylan, Dutch, and then they do the slap handshake, and their biceps are just pumping, and that pretty much tells you how the movie's going to start. So there we go. The movie's going to start. Bro handshake, big muscles. Who's going to win? Of course, Arnold's going to win. And then we go in for the mission. And for the mission is going to go in. We're going to go in there. We're going to go into the village out in the middle of nowhere and do whatever it is we're going to do out in the middle of nowhere. And you watch this film. We never remember why we're going because it's not important. The why we're going isn't important. It's what happens when we get there that's important. Brilliant. And then we find the skinned bodies of the group of people that went there before they did, all steeped in mystery. What's kind of funny about this to me is that it's all steeped in mystery, as if finding them skinned wasn't mysterious enough. And we have the scene, they climb up into the helicopter and there's stained reminiscence of a battle that went wrong. There's bullets everywhere. It's a great scene for me because it clearly depicts something horrible happened here. And then we have the Native American guy who is tracking, and he's the sage. He knows everything, and he's like, something bad happened here. I love that. It's like, it's great because clearly something bad happened there, because you could see something bad happen there. But he has to tell us that something bad happened here and it wasn't good. And really, really fun scene. And we go from that to the village where we are taking out the bad guys. So we're there to get the bad guys and we're there to claim the thing. And I have seen this film a million times and I can never remember why we're going into the forest to get these things. There are times that when I watched this film after I read the script, because that's my pattern when I do these, is I'll read the script to do the analysis, and then I'll do the reels if I'm going to pick on that film with my reels. So I'll go back and I'll watch the film so I can pull the reels off, and then I'll sit down and decide how I'm going to go do this. So I've seen the film already. Went to the theater to see it umpty years ago, and I've seen it many, many times since then, and I've watched it a couple of times to do this. Every single time, I swear to you, I can never remember why they went into the jungle to that village, because once the action starts, it's gone. And the reality is it's not important. So I talk about that in the script analysis. But I do love that scene because it's just, I was in the military and I've been engaged in activities where you have to go and do stuff. I have never seen a group of guys that were all just muscle bound, walking around with their shirts off. It was just glorious and it's awesome. It's not very realistic, but it's still really awesome. And they're out in the middle of nowhere, in this hot, horrible place to do heroes work, right? And then something's not right. And we leave, we capture the girl. She's the only one that we get. So she's tied up and we're off we go. And then the predator happens. And the first time when we get the predator, we don't really see him. And I love the little shimmering and the little cloaking. All of that stuff building suspense is probably my favorite part of this movie, leading up to the reveal, which I really, really like. So for the first part of this movie, we get that they're being hunted. Slowly but surely they're being hunted. So one by one, it's picking them off, and each one of them gets a glorious being picked off. Whether it is Ventura, he gets snapped, I'm ready for you, and boom, he's gone. They called him the big guy. All of them get taken in just the horrible, horrible ways. And this predator is no joke. And I love that. It was like a body count movie. It's like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre meets Alien. Superb. When you go to I want to think my favorite scene. I've got all my notes here. I always have notes. I'm so meticulous. It's ridiculous. But Dutch, who Arnold Schwarzenegger plays, he's the leader, and he's at the height of Arnold Schwarzenegger. And so everybody quotes this scene. Everybody says this when they're doing your best Arnold Schwarzenegger. And what is it you say? Get to the chopper. When they're running from the predator, and it's just come down to Arnold Schwarzenegger, the girl, and she's got the guy. They're limping and they're trying to get to the chopper. The predator comes to get his kill, and he gets Arnold. Arnold's gun gets shot out of his hands, and the girl comes and he says, get through the chopper. My favorite part about that scene is that she's like, got it. And then she takes off and runs. I love that. First, she's like, let me help you. And he says, no, go get to the chopper. She's like, got it. And she takes off running. That would probably be me. Not going to lie. But I do like the scene in here where they show you that Arnold Schwarzenegger, Dutch, figured out that this is about a hunt. It took a while for them to get there, but he figured it out that it was about a hunt. So when the woman, Anne, goes to pick up the gun to fire at it, he kicks it out of her hand because he realizes it's not hurting you because you're not one of us. You're not dangerous. You're not a hunted. This is an apex predator coming in to hunt, and you're just a deer running by. It doesn't want you. So if you pick up a gun, it's going to want you. So put that gun down. It's one of those subtle things as a writer that is really super cool. And then she's gone. She's like, all right, going to the chopper, bye. And then she's she's gone, which is really, really great. Then there's two scenes where we get to see the strength of man versus beast, monster, the strength of man. One was when they decide to trap it, and you have this one wonderful almost 80s montage scene where they're all like working and they're sweating and they're bending trees and wrapping foliage and cracking stuff and doing all this stuff to create this trap. We grew up, we Gen Xers, we grew up on scenes like this. We don't do them enough these days, where it's just watching everybody work, bending and pulling and climbing and throwing and sweating and shining in the sunshine with their muscles all glistening. That was to show the strength of man and mankind, because she was working too. Everybody was working hard to prepare for the battle and capturing this thing, because as Dutch says, if it bleeds, then we can kill it. So they were going to capture this thing that they knew nothing about. As far as they were concerned, they thought it was a person, but clearly it's something more than that. They don't know what it is. The next scene after that, where they did that I loved, which is probably, classic Arnold, really great, was when Dutch is by himself. Everybody else is gone. The girl, get to the chopper, she's gone, and he's covered with mud, and the predator didn't see him. And that's when he realizes that he's got something. It's not a lot, but it's something. So while the predator's off doing his thing, I got the hiccups, I am so sorry. But the predator's off doing his thing, Dutch prepares for the predator. So we have another montage, but this time it's just Dutch by himself. So you see Arnold there, and he's nighttime, and he's got a fire. So it's very visual and visceral. He's like a caveman in the dark with the fire. And he's bending and pulling and cracking and doing all the work, and he's doing it all himself, putting together weapons and bows, and he's breaking bullets apart and creating whatever the heck he's creating with the gunpowder. And then when he's ready, he's lights the torch, and he screams, ah, and he's basically, come get me, I'm ready for you. And the cool part of that scene, well, the whole scene is cool. It's a cool scene. One of the cool elements of that scene is while he's doing it, they also show us the predator doing his thing. And when they show the predator doing his thing, the predator is preparing all these skulls that he's collected, while Arnold is preparing to defend himself and get this creature. And what I love about this scene with the predator is he's caressing these skulls the way a collector would caress the thing that they're collecting, the object that they're collecting. And I'm a collector. I have all kinds of geeky, nerdy film stuff. And sometimes you pick it up, just look at it. And that's what it was like. He picked up the skull and he ran his hands across it because, oh, this one's beautiful. It's a really good scene. Love that. And then, we go to, he comes to, then we have the confrontation. Looking at my notes to see if there's anything else I forget before I get to the confrontation, because that's like the best part. Another one of my favorite scenes is when Anna, the whole time that they have Anna there, she's speaking a dialect, a Spanish dialect, and there's only one member of the team that can communicate with her because he's the only one that can speak the language. When everything came to a head and everything got real, Dutch goes up to her and kind of grabs her and says, "Tell me what's going on. What did you see?" Because she watched the predator take down one of his men. And everybody's like, "Oh, Carl Weathers," who looked fabulous in this film, by the way, but Carl Weathers is like, "Oh, you're wasting your time." She doesn't understand. And she spoke perfect English. She spoke perfect English the whole time. And she was like, it was like a chameleon. And then she tells a story of what we thought the predator was when I was growing up. And it was interesting. It was such a good scene because, from a writer's perspective, it gave us backstory. It gave us lots of information without preaching to us or without making it real complicated. Gave us composition in the character, which, I love that. It's good writing and I love it. But that's when we decide to build the trap. So I really like that. Also, I want to go back to Anna because she had a couple of opportunities to escape. She knows these woods. This is her terrain. She tried to get away one time, and that's when the predator got one of the guys because he went after her and the predator got him. And she's decided that it's safer to be with these guys. She ain't going nowhere. And so Arnold Schwarzenegger unties her, and she's now part of the group. So yeah, I like that scene. And I love that this creature was this hunter, a lone hunter, like a lone wolf, and all by himself. Over the years, we've had lots of predators, and we can say that for another time. I do have feelings about the Predator franchise. I'm a fan of the Predator. But I think that what made this film work so well is that the build-up, one little, two little, three little Indians, one by one, Dutch's men was picked off until at the end it was just him and the predator. And the scene, oh my God, the scene where the predator comes up on Dutch, on that hill, in that covey, on that cove, I should say, with the fire and the logs and all that stuff, and he finally unmasks himself. Masterful scene, absolutely masterful. This actor or performer was so tall, and so graceful. The way he stopped, every movement was deliberate, and how he unmasked himself and just pulled it down, and boom. That was our first look at the Predator. We have had Predator after Predator after Predator, and the Alien versus the Predator, and the Predator Badlands. We've had Predator all over the place since 1987, but that moment you can never recreate. That first unveiling of the Predator, and it was absolutely brilliant. And then Arnold Schwarzenegger looks at him and says, "You an ugly MF," which was really great. And then at the end, when the Predator looked up at him and said, "You're an ugly MF," and then the thing starts ticking, doop, 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 and it starts laughing, and Dutch realizes, oh my God, this is a countdown, and takes off. And then we have the big explosion, and then we find the chopper, and Anna's on the chopper because she found it. And then we go, and everything is good, or is it? Because this is just one predator, and we find out later that there's more predators all over the place. This is one of my favorite films. I am a writer, yes. I am intelligent, yes. But I'm a sci-fi horror girl. I write sci-fi and horror, and I love sci-fi and horror. I love heady movies. I do. I will watch a heady movie. I watch movies that make you think. I love to read. I love to debate. But sometimes I just love to be entertained. Predator is an entertaining movie. I'm not gonna take that away from it. You strip it down. It's about survival. It's about man being hunted by an apex predator. It could have been a lion. It could have been a bear. And in this case, it was an alien from another planet. I don't know that we could write something this, or create something, I should say, with this impact today, because there's an innocence about how it was put through, because we didn't have all the technology that we had now. There was no messaging in this film. There was no concern about diversity in this film. There was no concern about what level of the female character should have had. She was perfect the way she was in this film. Everything in this film worked because they just wanted to entertain us. And that's something I think we should remember more frequently when we put stuff together. But those are the things I loved about it. I could talk about this forever. I've already been talking for 20 minutes. Again, I'm sorry I wasn't able to go live with you guys. I'm hoping to get all my equipment all taken care of so I can get with you guys next week. But just keep showing up and liking the videos. Please like and subscribe. Put your comments down and let me know how you felt about this. I did Aliens last week. I did Predator this week. I'm thinking about doing Aliens versus Predator. I don't know. What do you think? It's either that or maybe Pitch Black, because I love that film too. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you for listening. Take care of yourself, and I will see you next time. Love you guys. Bye-bye now.